And he don't went out.
I'm back on.
Okay.
We got all. We struggle streaming from the jump, man.
Trying to too dark.
So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and run it, man. Real quick. All right. So let's do the introductions. My name is Brandon B. Dixon. NMLS 1541210 at BNL Loan. Also on all social media. I know what I went to do. I went to switch from X to Twitch, and something happened.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess we hold on. Let me edit this before we go. I'm gonna put Twitch on Twitch. Remove Twitch, and then I'm gonna put remove. Yeah, all right. So we live on Twitch. So we live on Facebook. LinkedIn. We live on YouTube. We live on Twitch, and we live on Barry's platform.
I'm on YouTube.
Right.
On my YouTube.
All right, so cool. All right, so my name is Brandon B. Dixon, MLS 1541210 at BNL Loan Officer on all social media. Go to the YouTube, subscribe at BNL Loan Officer. Go to my website, www.applywithb. Nothing's changed, but the interest rate, nothing's changed. Go to 832-775-8357. You can call me 24/7, long as it's about business. Also, go to my website, www.brandonbdixon.com if you want to book me for a consultation. And last but not least, go to cocinvestmentclub.com if you want to mitigate your risk and get into our investment club. Barry B, I got you kicked up. Look like you lost a little bit of weight for the summer, man.
Hey, man, I'm trying to do a little something, man.
Trying to get that summer body. I see you, Barry B.
Trying to get back down. Yeah. This is Barry Bolson, realtor. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in Houston and surrounding areas, just give me a call. Homes by Barry B. You can Google me. You can put that in on Google, and you're gonna get my Instagram. I'm on Instagram. Got my YouTube channel. I'm on X, but I really don't do too much on that. Facebook. You can give me a call at 832-786-1270, or you can email me at bbolston@gmail.com. And let's talk about it.
All right, and Corey, I got you queued up.
Corey Smith, broker owner of Commodore Mortgage. Here for all your mortgage needs, we got you.
Let's go and get right to it, man, because like I said, we still getting caught up, man. I got so many flicks in the chamber. So I got some old stuff, some stuff I added today. I might go through a few older ones that I had, really, that was from like previous shows. So it's going to be kind of a hodgepodge of different stuff. So let's just react, talk about it. I don't know if I have a theme. Maybe a theme will develop. Who knows? Let's see how it goes, man. So let's get it kicked off and let's run it. So well.
Ooh, man. Property owners, homeowners about to make so much money, because what Peter's talking about here is one of the greatest wealth transfers in history. What is that? That's from renters to homeowners, and not just people that own rental properties that are collecting the rent, but any homeowner, because property values have went up so much that every single property owner out there has benefited from it, right? So my question to you is would you rather be a renter dealing with rents going up every single year, depleting all of your money, going right out the window? Or would you like to own a house and actually take advantage of this inflationary period that is going to continue? That's what he's talking about right here. He's talking about the fact that it's not going to get better anytime soon because there's so much demand. We have demand for another decade, and we literally are behind millions of units. You know what the net worth is of a renter versus a homeowner? The net worth of a renter on average is $10,000. A homeowner, $400,000. So the question is when are you going to buy a home? Oh, well, it's really hard to buy a home. Right? It's way harder than it used to be. The average age of a first-time home buyer right now is 38. 5 years ago, it was 30, not even 5 years ago, like 3 years ago or so, it was 33 years old. So it's went up 5 years. So it's 38 before you get a house now. Yes, buying houses is far tougher than it used to be, but our job as humans is to continue to figure things out and adapt and fight for what we want and do whatever it takes to accomplish the goal. My dad told me a long time ago, when I was a teenager, one of my first jobs, I didn't like it anymore. I wanted to quit. He said, son, you never quit a job. You just add to it. That stuck with me for my entire life, because ever since then, guess what? I've always had 2 jobs and sometimes 3 jobs. But I've always had multiple jobs. And what he was talking about is, when you have a job, you don't quit it, you add to it. You look for other opportunities to add to it, maybe a second job, maybe another career, maybe something on the side. When you find something better and you've had it for a while and it's crushing the other job that you don't like, quit the other job then, but then don't quit looking for opportunities. My entire life, because of that one statement my dad told me, I've continued to increase my income every single year of my life and continue to progress, have different careers, and I'm still looking for better opportunities out there while I'm still crushing everything that I have going on. It's your job to go out there and crush your financial situation so that you can live the life that you want to live. So what are we waiting on? Let's get it.
Ooh. That was a lot to unpack right there.
Yeah,
He went through a lot.
Got on his soapbox right there.
Yeah, he did. See, we was more than a soapbox.
Mhm.
Good gracious.
Who want to go first?
I'll take it first. You know what I'm saying? So there's a couple of different things. I mean, with all of us being in real estate, we can agree with the fact of if you want to increase your net worth, owning real estate is a lot better than renting real estate. Although we've all ran into clients, you know what I'm saying, where sometimes they have to bump their head against the wall before they actually learn, and they pissed away thousands waiting for one reason or another, whether they're picky, whether family told them right now wasn't the right time to buy, whatever the case may be. So we've all been there where, you know what I'm saying, we kind of beating the dead horse trying to sit there and let people know that, you know what I'm saying, owning a house is absolutely going to be 10 times better than renting a house, because there's a return on investment when you own a property. There's tax write-offs when you own a property. Equity coming when you own the property. So we can go on and on and on. The other thing that he talked about as far as the multiple jobs, I do think, you know what I'm saying, you always have to look for opportunities. Do you have to necessarily take 2 or 3 jobs? Not necessarily. Sometimes it's needed. You have to be open to anything. But the number one thing that I think he said was owning real estate. That's the number one. The number 2 most important thing is you always have to be looking for opportunities to better your wealth and your income.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Yeah, and I know we always see we talked about owning is better than renting, and I think the vast majority of the population understands that. But I think sometimes we, people in the industry and people like that, think that some people are renting because they want to. Mm-hmm. That's not always the case. Some of them are not in the position to buy, and so we need to help them or talk to them about getting in a position to buy. I don't think we can and yes, they know owning is better. I think everybody knows that, but some people are in situations where they got to rent right now until they do get that better situation. And yeah, they might have to go get that extra job or sell those fish plates at the on the corner or whatever.
Or fried chicken place. Yeah. Sad to say, one or the other, they got to do something.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I don't know if everybody knows that owning better than renting. I mean, a lot of people don't know any better as far as a house is a house. A lot of people, if you never known your mom or your grandmother and great grandmother never owned anything, it'd be foreign to you.
No, I didn't say they didn't. I said they don't because of situations.
Right.
My mom didn't own a house in my early years. Wasn't because she didn't know about owning the house, because she didn't have the money to own a house.
Right.
Until I got older.
I think
that's not the same.
We got a clip coming. I think renting is just as much paperwork, almost as more qualifications than owning a house in 2025. Don't forget, because you got these private owners, they can set their own restrictions. They don't have to let you in their house. So they
Mm-hmm.
want 3 times rent. A lot of times when first month, last month, they want a clear background. You don't need a clear background of own house. You know, so a lot of times they want perfect credit. They want better credit than you had was with the owner house. So like, you know, so and they could, you know, screen out. I don't like the fact that you got pets. I don't like the fact that you got, you know, your uncle live over there. They can say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually harder to probably rent. And you probably have just as much as with the down payment assistance program and all. I got banks that'll lend down a 380 credit score or whatever. You know, I got all kind of banks, so there's really no excuse. It's all a mind frame, I think. You know, if you want to rent, you're gonna rent. If you perceive that it's easier, you're gonna do that. You know, I think the only people that in a position not to own is if you don't have a social or a 10, you know, tax ID number. Then you're in a position you got to rent, you know. So and really live.
I think that's a little. Indeed. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's probably some far as the paperwork, but I mean, if you got somebody whose credit score is not good, or like you said, you got somebody do a 380, but okay, they take a 380, but they gonna need money for the down payment, right?
I need that.
Mm-hmm. Well, if they ain't got the money for the down payment, then
you ain't got the money, you ain't got the credit score. There ain't too much you can do.
Yeah,
so.
right, D. That's what I'm saying. So
my point is though, but if you in a house market, you're gonna need money anyway to get the rent together because you're gonna need first month, last month.
Yeah, that's a difference between needing 2,000 or 3,000 than needing 40,000. That's a big difference.
3,000 for like I guess if you 1,500, unless you live in the hood somewhere. Well, where you gonna get a house? A house gonna be about 2 in Houston nowadays.
Okay, so they'll make you pay first month and last month, and your first month and your so what's that, 4,000?
45, about 4,500.
4,500 as opposed to 45,000 if you got a 500 or 50,000.
You could get if you're talking 380, you probably gonna need like that 20%. Something.
But if you ain't got a 380,
those are extreme cases. I mean, I'm just saying, but
if you ain't got a 380, you got that 600, and you go, man, give me that 45 and say that for closing costs, and we'll go ahead and make that thing work. Yeah. We got the down payment assistance, so we'll make.
That's why we got to educate people too.
Right. So but
some people don't know. I mean, I'm telling you, some people don't know. I've had clients who had 600s. They could have had a house a long time ago, and they were like, "Man, I thought I needed a 700."
Nah,
correct. Hey, look, and
I've had people like that.
Some cats say they needed 700, and then I get a lot of, you know what I'm saying, man, I thought I needed 20% down. Well, where the hell you get that from?
That's why we got, that's what I'm saying. You know why? Because those other quote unquote banks is up here that's requiring. I know a lot of them, they not even messing with you if you don't have a 700.
Right. I believe that.
They don't know. That's what I'm saying. So that's why we got to educate them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go to this next one real quick because again, I got quite a few. So I don't even remember what happened either. So we're just gonna run them.
Sleepless nights every night. I don't know where we're going to live or how we're going to live.
Howard Konitz never thought he'd be in this situation at 79 years old.
We can't afford it. We can't afford it. We're going to go broke.
Konitz and his wife Sheila have lived in their 2-bedroom, 2-bath Williams Island condo for 10 years. The retired couple had their financial future all planned out.
Elevator modernization.
That was until they were recently hit with a special assessment.
The total assessment for the apartment we're sitting in is what?
Approximately $224,000.
When you say that number, can you believe it?
No, not at all.
That's on top of their monthly maintenance that's gone from $1,500 to $3,000.
We never anticipated to have this escalation.
According to Condo Doc's assessments in Mediterranean Village in Williams Island, where Konitz lives, are as high as $400,000 for just one apartment. Projects budgeted for his building include everything from consultants to roofing, concrete restoration, elevator modernization, termite treatment, and $700,000 loan for landscaping.
Somebody also told me, well, if you're not able to pay, you shouldn't be living here.
The assessments at Williams Island can't be passed on to a potential buyer. Konitz has had his condo on the market and has dropped the price several times. He was turned down for a reverse mortgage by a lender due to strict condo rules.
Maybe I can give it away for pennies on the dollar.
He is not alone. This listing at the Cricket Club in North Miami discloses a $134,000 assessment. A new Florida law enacted after the 2021 collapse of the Champlain Towers in Surfside mandates increased building inspections and reserve funding for condo buildings. The rules come with a hefty price tag for owners of older buildings.
Have you ever seen numbers like this?
No.
Susie Friedel has been a realtor for 50 years. She's a mediator for the Miami Board of Realtors and the Florida Supreme Court.
What is the assessment on the apartment that you have for sale?
Just about $290,000. There needs to be assessments. The problem is they've done too much at one time. The boards have gotten so nervous about all this that now they're doing everything at once.
There is no comment on camera from the association. In a brief phone conversation, association president Mike Siegel said, quote, "We wouldn't be doing it if we didn't have to. It's not like we're stealing people's money."
You know, the board does what they want.
The position you're in, what do you do?
Pray,
Sleepless nights?
sleep.
Yeah. Get out of that thing quick.
And that's one reason why I don't like condos.
Yep.
Before we get to the reaction, my guy Mike said, "That's the truth. I can't even buy a house." I think he's reacting to the clip before that. I mean, Mike, let's talk about it, man. Hit the jack. Don't forget, man. You know, shoot. Everybody is www.applywithb.com. I'm gonna put the banner up. You can go and book me for a consultation right there, man. I think everybody could afford a house. I mean, this is my old cliche. You got good credit with no money, I can help you. You got bad credit with money, I can help you. No credit, no money, can't help you. Nobody can help you. Gotta have.
That means you got to work on at least one of them.
Yeah, you gotta pick a struggle. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pick a struggle. You got no money, bad credit. That's
He said, "Got to pick a struggle." Can't struggle at everything. Huh?
You can't struggle at everything, man. You can't be multi-struggling.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So what
That's
y'all
why a
think
lot
of
of
the
them
condo?
rent because they struggling with both.
What y'all think of the condo situation?
Sounds
The condo
ridiculous to me.
Yeah, the condo situation is crazy. You know what I'm saying, but it's the same thing that a lot of Americans are actually dealing with. I think it's the same thing that Americans deal with. You know what I'm saying, in gentrified areas. Now that they have all these new constructions and everything, and it jacks the property values up, and they just simply can't afford the new values and the new property taxes that come along with them. Don't get us wrong. You know what I'm saying, when they talk about assessed value, and he talks about the $224,000. It's not $224,000 that he owes. It's what the county is saying that his condo is worth is the $224,000, and he owes a percentage of that. Now, anytime, you know what I'm saying, it goes from $150,000 to $224,000, that's obviously a major jump. It's going to actually affect how much taxes that he has to pay. So again, you know what I'm saying, in other parts of the country as well, you know what I'm saying, not just condos, it could be houses as well, where maybe grandma had a house that she passed along down there, but a lot of investors deemed that that was the property or that was the area that they wanted to be in. That was the area that they wanted to knock down the small houses and build these mega mansions. Eventually, they're going to run into the same problems as well, where the value of their property goes up from a market standpoint, but the assessed value from the county goes up as well. So although I feel sorry for the guy, you know what I'm saying, he has to try to figure out a way to get out of this thing without just kind of a fire sale. If they're valuing at $224,000, it has to be a way that, you know what I'm saying, his value has increased as well, and he's able to get out of that deal.
Now, were they talking about assessed value, or were they talking about additional fees that the HOA was charging so they can make these improvements or whatever?
Yeah, that's what I thought he was talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what I thought he was talking about. Not the value, but we getting ready to make all these improvements in the building, and so now you got to pay a part of that.
Because of the
So the assessment is coming from the condo, not the county.
That HOA, I think that's what they were saying.
Right. And
I
your portion of that particular
So I think the value of the condo is still the same, but it's these extra fees now that he has to pay on top of his mortgage
to get
I think is what they were talking about.
Don't forget HOAs and condos, y'all all sharing like ownership, right? And so your portion of the property upgrades or whatever they need to be up to code is like $225,000. You know, and you can't afford it. Plus the HOA is the double, went from $1,500 to $3,000. You know, so you can't afford it.
So like what he said, they had to put a new roof on, and
they had all kinds of
other stuff that they had to fix, and
they're gonna pass all that stuff
along. If they get bids on that, or if they just go with anybody, or go with they brother-in-law or somebody, you know.
I'm willing to bet they probably get multiple bids, but they tell brother-in-law, "Hey man, this is where I need you to be if you want this contract."
My thing is, let me go ahead and get in this. Condos should be a luxury. Don't forget that you paying these HOA fees in perpetuity. It never stops. So you could pay this thing off. Let's say you get $150,000 condo, you pay it off, but you still have $750,000 every month for HOA dues, and it never goes away. And you miss a month or two, they'll put a lien on your property, and you have to up it. Also, you got this going on as well. If the builder's out of code, you're part owner of that building, so you have to make your improvements. You have to do it. You know, it's like it's owning, but you're not really owning. You're still a tenant. You know, and you share all the responsibilities without any of the freedoms. So condo is definitely a luxury item. Like I would have a house in a condo somewhere else in a different state, like a vacation, like an Airbnb, where it'd be partial investment. But to live in a condo, that's to retire there.
And I think that was one thing too, because it was in Florida, and I know they got a lot of stuff, you know, living on the coast in Florida.
Yeah, Florida is a big retirement place, and where they retire, and you know, but you got to really look at that perpetuity. That thing coming in every month, $1,500 every month, and it ain't gonna stop.
But because it's coming every, what are they doing with the money? Is my question. So you know what I'm saying? You got to replace a roof, right? You know what I'm saying? The insurance doesn't kick in. Like did the HOA not have insurance?
Not for those not for upgrades.
How was it upgrades though?
They needed to upgrade because the building's out of code now because of some kind of new laws they changed. So the old building is not up to par. This is a one-off situation, but it could happen. It could, especially if you're in an older condo.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
probably if it's older, probably the newer ones you probably wouldn't have to worry about it.
Right. But it's eventually gonna get old though. It's like so.
It is, but them saying the people that you paying in perpetuity these HOA fees. Them saying nobody's budgeting money for this stuff to happen.
They paying for the flowers in the courtyard and the landscaping. Other than that, I mean, it's not too much other stuff that's working in the condo unless they have like facilities there or something.
Maybe some common electricity, but that ain't gonna be much.
Don't forget HOAs. Most of them running the red anyway. Most of them been running the red. They don't know how to manage the money. I've got like 3 or 4 deals turned on this year because you look at the HOA budget and they in the red. You know, they can't lend them. You can't lend to them.
They spending money on frivolous stuff.
Yeah, so like
you got to see that firsthand.
So condos, you got to watch it. I'm a condo dude. I like condos. I like the luxury. I like the amenities. Ghost, you know, that penthouse Ghost was in. That's one of my dream spots. But you better be filthy. You better be filthy. Yeah, you better be filthy rich messing with them condos. You know, if you on a budget, you on a fixed income. No sir. No sir.
It has to be right situation, right story.
Got to be the right situation.
To get it
you better be balling.
You ain't in there just talking about, man, I don't want to cut grass. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be in there for that.
Yeah. You better have a game plan if you mess with a condo. Condo is like one of them things that it's like a sports car, like one of them, a McLaren or something. You don't have that if this is your last. And to tie that to something somebody said earlier, I want to tie that to, I think what Corey said, stop buying at the top of your budget. Stop it. Because you ain't leaving no room for growth because the taxes going up, the HOAs could go up.
Insurance gonna go. Hey, look, insurance definitely gonna go up.
Insurance can go up, so you buying at the top of your budget, but the wages ain't going up.
And them people, look, tax and insurance been busting people over the head for the past 2 years.
Let's not even talk about insurance. Mine just mine renewing in July, and ooh wee.
Lord have mercy.
Right. Stop buying at the top of your budget when you got room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And yeah, that's one thing I always try to tell people too, especially first time home buyers. Right. They got young kids and all that. Hey, these kids going to college in a few years, or
stop living for the now. Stop living for the now and live for the future. Let's go ahead and run this next one.
Yeah.
We're living in the worst housing market in modern history, and boomers keep telling us to stop complaining. But let me show you what's going on. This home that sold not that long ago for $561,000 sold in 2017 for $338,000. So in 2025, with $561,000 sale price, 6% down, and a 6.8% rate, gives you a payment of $3,878. But in 2017, with a $338,000 sale price, 6% down, and a 4% rate, gives you a payment of $1,806. To reasonably afford this home in 2025, you need a household income of $235,000. In 2017, all you needed was a household income of $100,000 to afford this house. 2 entry-level teachers could have afforded this just 8 years ago. But when we're told stop complaining, we have a lot to complain about. People who bought into this market well before things were crazy have no idea what we're experiencing. I've even heard things like, well, that's just inflation. Home prices increase over time. What do you expect? This same home that sold for $338,000 in 2017 sold for $241,000 back in 1998. Meaning that in nearly 20 years, this home didn't even increase by $100,000. But in the 8 years after 2017, this home increased by more than $200,000. That is what us millennials are dealing with. The next time you hear somebody tell you to stop complaining about this, show them this video. If you want more honest housing market updates from someone who's not trying to sell you a thing, make sure you check out my newsletter, Pissed Off Buyer, in the link in my bio. Like, follow, comment, and let me know what people are saying to you about your complaints. We are.
Don't put a search in for $500,000 homes.
Right. Well, what he's saying.
You start there.
Yeah.
What he's saying though is it's everything cooked. Everything.
I understand what he's saying. Yeah, the values have went up. Okay, the values have went up, but I that $300,000 house that I could afford 8 years ago, I know it's not $300,000 now. I'm putting $300,000 in when I start searching. That house won't even come up.
Right. But the thing is that I get what you're saying, but my point is that where is the $300,000? Not a $300,000 house in the hood.
They're around.
Yeah, not if you're in H-Town. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be in the hood to get 300 to get a $300K.
But he looked like he was in, Atlanta, somewhere, Jersey.
Look, I just came out of I was out in Pearland. There's some 310s down there.
Right, but H-Town is a different anomaly. But yeah, I remember you could get a decent house for 180. Decent start up. That's gone.
That's out of there.
That's gone. Yeah. 215. You was in something extravagant.
Correct. You at least had 2 stories and 4 bedrooms.
Right. You was in a 4-bedroom house. Your note $1,600-$1,700.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That was a long time ago. That was in the teens. That was in the 18, 19. That wasn't that long ago. So that's gone, man. It's gone. So that's what we were talking about last week. Is that can the teacher afford that nowadays? Because it's gonna be double. You talking about a note of 25 or more?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
If they marry somebody,
if they're married with 2 incomes, it's hard for one income.
You could be single just a short time ago, and it ain't like the money went like the teachers ain't making 80 now. They went from 60 to 80. They still at 60. Do you see what
I'm saying? If they're gonna need 2 incomes, of course, yeah.
Right, but you could do. I've done so many them 15, 20 that I do a year of the teachers that a teacher salary, that's gone. They can't afford it. They got to get somebody else with them, or be married or something like that. But that 180 house is gone.
And that goes back to that first video when I said some people not buying, they ain't buying because they don't want to. They renting because they have to.
Way. We talked about last week. What is it? The Mexican. What is it called? A Mexican mortgage strategy.
The
20 people in the house.
Yeah, you got 5. So hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
You got to do what you got to do. That's the problem. Too much ego. You got too much ego. Let's take a little side note. No, I ain't gonna buzz that one yet. Let me go ahead. Let me run this one. I'm gonna run a couple of different. Get off of real estate for a hot second, and I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back to it, but I'll throw these in there because I know I wanted to talk about something. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's go ahead and talk about it, man. You know how to do it. You know I got to do it. I mean,
anytime he leaves,
brokest people I've ever met in my entire life know everything. You can't teach them anything, bro. And then the richest people that I've ever met, the billionaires, the multimillionaires, the 100 millionaires, they're always trying to learn something from everybody. Bro, they're trying to learn from the homeless guy. They're trying to learn from the 19-year-old kid. They're not on Instagram hating on you, giving you hate comments. They're trying to figure out what good data set can I get from this conversation. The brokest people I've ever met in my entire life know everything. You can't teach them anything, bro. And then the richest people that I've ever met, the billionaires, the multimillionaires, the 100 millionaires, they're always trying to learn something from everybody. Bro, they're trying to learn from the homeless guy. They're trying to learn from the 19-year-old kid. They're not on Instagram hating on you, giving you hate comments. They're trying to figure out what good data set can I get from this conversation.
Okay, first of all, he know billionaires and 100 millionaires. I think that's cap. I think he's just talking.
Bro.
he might have met one in his lifetime.
Yeah, I'm like, he's saying it like he a billionaire. The billionaires that I've met and multi 100 million. Okay, first of all, okay,
right.
But I agree with him. Yeah, I mean, you always want to learn more. Or what's that saying? If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Correct.
You should always be trying to get better, learn and get better.
Well, I think I've been working around these millennials, man. This new generation that came out, and they know it all, man. You can't teach them nothing. It's different generation, and I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't get it. I don't get if you broke, how you figure you know everything. Like if you struggling, I don't get it. I will be trying to pick people's brain and try to find out what they did so I could duplicate it. Take these nuggets and take it and flip it. But I don't get it. Like I don't get the people that's broke as hell. Always, you can't tell them nothing. They
always got advice.
Well, not just advice. They don't. They're not receptive. What you saying? They know it all. They cut you off and they're just not listening. It's a mental block. It is a lot of. I think they're not meant to get better. A lot of people can't get out their own way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough. Like I said, I always wanted that same thing, but millionaires had this open mind. Like it's something the fact that they don't know it all.
Yeah, most of the obstacles that are in people's lives, they create.
Right.
It's not even, the outside world. It's they created either with their mindset or whatever.
Corey, you want to answer that? Because I got one more detail I want. I set up. This ain't the doozy. I got the doozy coming in a second.
Look, my thing is, I'm saying, I come to realize that some people's situation, I'm saying, they're not necessarily 100% responsible for, because mental issues, mental illness, I'm saying, and not having the mental capacity to process information or process thoughts is a real thing. And I think a lot of people run into that delusional type of situation where they think they absolutely know everything and they don't, but they don't have the mental capacity to understand it. So even though I want to say, you know what I'm saying, some people are just stubborn in their ways and they're in the situation because they are, that they're in, because they are, you know what I'm saying? And I do agree with that to a certain extent. But I do have sympathy and empathy because I do believe, you know what I'm saying, some of them may function like a normal person, but mentally, you know what I'm saying, they're not 100% like they're supposed to be.
Right. I mean, I think a lot of people are their own worst enemies. You know, it's all in the mind. Let's run this one. I want you to hear what y'all fellas got to say about this. This is totally off topic, but we're going to run it.
From Harris County Health shows cases of HIV and other sexually transmitted infections are on the rise in our area and rising faster than anywhere else in Texas. Tonight, Matt Doherty looks at which parts of the city are seeing the highest rates of new cases. He joins us live tonight in West Houston. Matt?
Yeah, the study shows the rates of new cases are rising across the board, even among some diseases you may have thought were long gone.
HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, all of those. So it's a big issue we have here in our community.
Legacy Health's Director of Health Navigation, Jill Johns, sits down to discuss what nobody wants to talk about.
A trip or a burning sensation when they pee or a discharge from their genitals.
Sexually transmitted infections.
Harris County and Houston in particular has been surpassing the rates of STIs in Texas.
Due to the lag for required reporting, the most recent data in the report covers the time period between 2016 and 2022. What it shows is alarming.
Between 2016 and 2022, the rates of syphilis in our area doubled, which is definitely concerning.
Here's a map of the zip codes where the rate of syphilis is the highest. Downtown, then Montrose, then the area near Old Spanish Trail. For chlamydia, the zip codes with the highest rates are the Medical Center area, LaPorte, and downtown.
Ages 15 to 24.
Then there's gonorrhea, which has an infection rate that is surging in the area of the Medical Center, followed by downtown and then Sunnyside. The highest rates of new HIV cases were seen in Montrose, followed by the Second Ward and then Setgast. Although the sexually transmitted infections are found in basically every demographic in Harris County, the study found that there is one population that is testing positive for them more frequently.
Particular Black women. So Black women who are heterosexual are frequently getting STIs at a higher rate than other groups.
The best place to start is from a position of knowledge. Legacy Health offers free and confidential HIV and STI testing, and some results you can learn within minutes. In West Houston, I'm Matt Doherty, KHOU 11 News.
New data from...
Let's hear it, man. Let's hear it. I want to hear the excuses.
Bailey, it ain't no excuses. I can tell you right now, you know what I'm saying, it's not surprising because people, celebrities alike, are coming to Houston to get it in. It's become this most popular thing where, you know what I'm saying, Houston is the place to be. So everybody wants to come to Houston. Hey, look, we got artists, we got comedians, we got all kinds of celebrities coming here, you know what I'm saying? They come here because they talk about the different women that's here. And they are getting it in, and it's not surprising. They don't talk about Austin, man, Austin, da-da-da-da. They don't talk about Austin on podcasts. They don't talk about them on the radio. They don't talk about San Antonio, and they don't talk about Dallas. They talk about Houston. So with all the celebrities coming here, guess what's going to come? That tail. That tail going to come trying to chase them. So even though it's a bad thing, I can't say I'm surprised. Before she started talking about what demographic is spreading the fastest, I already knew in my head what it was. I already said in my head what it was before she even said it, because I already knew what it was. Just the way, you know what I'm saying, that it was the same. It's the same thing that happened to Atlanta before it even got to Houston. Atlanta, everybody wanted to move to Atlanta. Celebrities wanted to move to Atlanta. Everybody wanted to move to Atlanta, and it was a lot of people that are getting it in. Now Houston is up next. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, there can be something that's done about it to slow it down. But I can't say that I'm surprised by the statistics.
Yeah,
I'm not too surprised by it either. Not surprised by it. It was showing that Montrose has a lot of that in that area. and that's probably a lot of the HIV cases over there too. I'm not really surprised by that. Now I'm kind of surprised about the medical center. That one was kind of, but the Montrose
medical center, that's Kirby, and that's right.
I know it's some down places, but it's also some upper level luxury around the medical center too.
It is, but it's all centrally located. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to get to all the spots, Midtown, downtown, you know what I'm saying? Like downtown was in there too.
Yeah.
All the spots. A lot of the youngsters want to be down there because they got to be close proximity to everything.
I mean, so my thing is this, man. Like I said, I gotta go ahead and echo the voice of the man himself, man, the Godfather, man. He said that it's 18% of men is getting all the action. So like the women, they got multiple partners. So black women sleeping with the same dudes over and over and over, and they spread, and that's what's spreading them. They sleep with the same partner, same, like you said, the celebrities, the comedians, and the, you know what I'm saying, the local stars and stuff like that. All of them want to sleep with the same guy. And that's what's spreading it. You know? Why is it not black men that's getting it if it's all even out? You see what I'm saying?
The numbers it'd be interesting to see what all the numbers are, and not just who the most is.
Because they sleeping with the same dudes. And the same dudes get all the babies, get all the action. Is the top dudes. And then they say 53% of black men are single and childless. 53% can't get no action. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Just because they single don't mean they ain't getting action.
No, but they single and childless. You know what incel is? Involuntary celibate. You know, so a lot of incels. So we've been saying this for a minute now. You know, they chasing the same dudes, knocking them all down. And spreading and bedding in it.
And here's a note on that. When did they start calling them STI? I must be real old.
Yeah,
because when she said STI, I was like, "What's that?" I'm thinking that's a new disease that came out.
Yeah,
transmitted infections.
Look, I was around when they called them venereal disease, so that tell you how old I am.
Yeah, that's
old. VD. That tell you how old I am.
Right.
And then it went to STD.
Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? I must be old too, because you know what I'm saying? I ain't real. I had context clues, you know what I'm saying? I figured it out. But
that's why I had to do. I was like, what
STD, you know what I'm saying? This is new. You know what I'm saying? But medical always change.
It's an infection.
Yeah, no, I understand. No, she said what it was. She said sexually transmitted infection. I'm like, that's the same. I guess we have to have a new name for it or something.
Man, look, it's happening too often. We got to call it something different, huh?
Right. Let's go ahead and get back on track with the realist. I just had those two clips in there. I had to kind of veer off for a minute. You know,
half bed with the half bath and the half kitchen is $2,000 a month for 15 months. Okay, well, I got a couple questions. I don't think you hear what you're saying. 3.5 times the rent. That means, I got to be making like $7,000 a month. Now you make $7,000 a month. So the application fee is $450. If I get the apartment, the $450 go toward my rent. But if I don't get it, then I get my money back. No. We get to keep that. Oh hell no. Do you know anybody that really makes $7,000 a month? Listen, instead of running my credit score, can you walk it? Because it ain't 620. It probably be just a little bit less. Just walk it. Don't run it. You know what I mean? Can we do that like soft pull? Not hard pull. And it's crazy because I know you don't make $7,000 a month because you stay there. You probably live on the premises. So you just get your rent half off and shit like that, don't it? The whole apartment itself is 12 square feet. 3.5 times the rent. So I need 2.5 more people to move in with me then, right? Don't worry about it. I'm gonna just stay where I'm at. So the half bed.
Dog, that is hilarious.
Man,
exactly what it. Yep.
The had bad. Lord have mercy.
That's exactly what
I
it's
don't
like.
even. Yeah, I don't even know if there's much to be said on that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just the facts, the true facts. A lot of reality don't make sense whatsoever.
Yes, it don't.
And the whole three times rent and all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? The large application fees to not guarantee that you're gonna get it is completely ridiculous. But you know, it's what people got to deal with nowadays.
You got to play the game.
Got to play the game.
Fees and all that. And
yes.
I'm like, I've rented a couple that's in areas that are not, you know, upper echelon, and you look at the requirements, and I'm like, what do y'all think y'all are? River Oaks? What?
Yes, absolutely.
Like,
and look,
if I had all this, I can.
Correct. I buy a house. You know what I'm saying? But there's no exemption. There's no exemption in none of that. Well, maybe if you have this, you know what I'm saying, we'll accept that. That type. No, it ain't none of that. It's like here, clear black and white, these are the rules, you know what I'm saying? If anything come back, even if it was your fault, got a good excuse or whatever, if anything come back on that criminal background, that's a no. That's an automatic no.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
but
run.
Yep, you gotta make comedy out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling y'all earlier, man, I had a clip about this, man. Like, you know, it's damn near harder now to rent than it is to buy, man, you know, so y'all got to reevaluate things. Everybody think that's the easy default. It's not, you know, so let's go ahead and run some of these new ones. I got a few new ones that I just threw in there today, so let's go ahead and run these, and I'll pick and choose. Let's see what we got, man. Let's see what we got. I got about 4 or 5 new ones that I just put in there today. Run these. These are the latest
direction we've ever seen the real estate market. DJ, so? Oh yeah, absolutely. 20-30% is about to hit.
I mean, you're on the inside, so you would know. You're talking to these banks, you're talking to lenders.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
What do you think's causing that?
I don't know exactly what's causing it, man, but I tell you what, it's interest rates, if they do go down, we're gonna have so much inventory because right now everybody's holding on to their house because they have good interest rates on their mortgages. Yeah. They're not gonna sell right now. If you have a 4% mortgage or a 3% mortgage, why would you sell your house and go get a 7% mortgage? It doesn't make sense. So as soon as the rates go down, inventory is gonna go up. And so prices are gonna go down. Mm-hmm. Supply and demand function will be off balance. Yeah. So a lot of people that are holding on right now, you know, going to sell whenever the rates get better. Man, you're going to have competition.
And then you got these huge funds stacking up on real estate, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Got BlackRock, a bunch of other VCs or whatever.
Yeah, that's the new way. We're about to have the biggest real estate correction we've ever seen. The real estate market.
You think so?
Oh yeah, absolutely. 20-30% is about to hit.
I mean, you're on the.
Well, y'all believe these doom and gloom people?
All that.
Huh? Y'all believe these doom and gloom?
I don't think it'd be all that. And then he said correction, but then on the thing he put crash.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be all that.
What you got?
Definitely think we're going through a correction.
Correction, but not a crash.
Correction, but definitely not a crash. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but they've been predicting crashes for God knows how long. They've been predicting a recession for God knows how long.
Yeah.
And I can't see it getting to that point. You know what I'm saying? I don't see where we even close to that point. But you know, I think it's a lot of people's job to kind of scare the hell out of the market, out of the economy, out of everybody, or at least try. Right. So I definitely think a correction was needed because, you know what I'm saying, you keep going up, and then especially going up as fast as we did in COVID, it's about time that, you know what I'm saying, actually get a correction. But I think now we're getting to a level where I believe, you know what I'm saying, you know, the Feds have to seriously start thinking about trying to drop rates. Because, you know what I'm saying, now it's a whole bunch of people starting to feel it. It's a whole bunch of people starting to complain and do bad, essentially. So I think, you know what I'm saying, they were smart to be cautious of, you know what I'm saying, increasing rates. But now I think it's we done held it on long enough. Time to let it go.
But I think, didn't he just the Fed guy just say that he didn't see a reason to lower them right now? Didn't he say that a couple months ago?
He said it at the last meeting, which was last month.
Yeah.
What a difference a week makes. I said it sounded like somebody said this last week, man. And somebody said, "No, we need to wait till the prices come down." I said we need to go ahead let it run. Go ahead, drop the rates and let it run its course. Somebody was saying last week that
it's completely different topic. Completely different topic, B. What that man can move the goalpost, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a completely different topic, B.
I'm gonna have to play the last clip, man.
You was trying to say, okay, well, now, I ain't gonna rehash last week. You know what I'm saying? We on a new podcast. Barry B. I gotta act right in front of company. I gotta act right in front of company. We ain't gonna do this.
It sounds like somebody I know with a white beard said last week to go ahead and drop the race and let's go ahead and run it. Somebody else was saying with a cap backwards said, nah, we need prices to go down a little bit more before we run it.
Well, they
become affordable again.
You know, they reported that home buyers is for the first time, and I don't know how many years buyers is more buyers than sellers out there.
Right.
So we're getting ready to go back to that buyers market.
Right. Right. I mean, I think we just need to go ahead and run it, drop it, and let's run it. You know, let's go to this next one, man. I ain't gonna dwell on it too long, but my memory, man. I got a good memory.
Hey, somebody get the instant replay. I'm throwing a challenge flag on this.
The more you do research, the more you find out how much bullshit it is when you own a house. Now, I got PMI when I first got a house. It's called private mortgage insurance. They make you get it. If you don't put 20% down, you have to get PMI. Now, I put a nice chunk of money down, which I didn't realize if I would have did that after I got the loan, that I would have never had PMI. So I put the money down and then let them give me the loan for the remaining balance instead of putting the money towards the loan. You get what I'm saying? So then I got private mortgage insurance, which means that if you default on your loan, the bank is covered. So they still get their money from the insurance, but then they also get the house and they're able to sell the house again, and then you homeless. Don't none of this make no damn sense. This is all one big ass scam. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna send an email, see if I can cancel my private mortgage insurance. And I sent the email and it was like, oh man, that's fine. Yeah, you can cancel it. Meanwhile, I done had this shit for 3 years. So 3 years, they paid me for like $24 extra $100 for absolutely no reason whatsoever. When I put down a substantial amount right out the gate, but I didn't put that down towards the loan. I put that down and then got the loan. The finesse is dumb. It's dumb. They keep getting us, y'all. The more you do research, the more you find out how much bullshit it is when you own a house.
I say Calvin because I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. He was kind of.
He lost me with that.
Yeah. I put a substantial amount down, but it didn't go toward the loan.
Yeah,
and
you said 61 hand, half a dozen other. What are you saying?
Yeah, he kind of confused me on that.
Yeah, I was slide
but we do know it is a scam. But we do know it is a scam.
I don't know if it's a scam. It's part of what it is. Like, all right,
it's still a scam. Just because it's what it is, it don't mean it ain't a scam.
Scam mean I think scam is extreme. Scam means that
I'm gonna make you pay for insurance so I can get insurance so I can get my money back, and then I'm gonna take your house and sell it anyway.
My definition of scam is getting money under false pretenses. They telling you up front with private mortgage insurance. It's insurance for if you default on this loan.
Yeah, but if they tell you you have to get it.
Right, but that's the only way we'll lend you the money.
Okay.
You know, so other than that, come with your own money, and then you can do say what the hell you want to say.
Did he put down 20% is the question, you know what I'm saying? Did you put down 20%? Because if you put down 20% going conventional, to begin with, you wouldn't have had no PMI.
Exactly.
So, you know what I'm saying? I was a little, I was a little confused about what he was talking about or where he was going with that. But, you know, a lot of people talk what they think they understand, but they don't necessarily understand.
Right.
And I think that was one of them situations. Not to say, you know what I'm saying, he was 100% lying. I just don't think he understand the situation that he was in. And I think he was a little frustrated, and he thought he understood, but he didn't understand.
And he didn't ask questions from his loan person.
Didn't hey, look, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes, you know, it takes a little bit more than 2 explanations for some folks. But then they get a little bit nervous because they just like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to keep asking this man the same question or explain it over and over again. So screw it. I think I got it. And they don't really have it. And then they end up making videos about shit like that makes no sense to real estate people.
Right. Let's go ahead and run this next one because again, I'm trying to get through it real quick. Let's see.
CNN is always late to the party, but they are again. But it is officially a buyer's market, and now also Democrats are agreeing. So here's what we're doing. We are not fixing and flipping any properties at the moment. What we are doing instead is buying super deep, like super, super deep. We are rehabbing into co-living. We are refinancing. We are pulling out our loan proceeds tax-free, and then we're cash flowing and holding. That is the pattern we are in right now. The last time the market shifted, we made incredible gains in our portfolio by buying super deep. So right now, guys, is the time to get out there and make some disrespectful offers. There are sellers that are super desperate right now. I am closing on an incredible deal today. I closed on an incredible deal yesterday, and I'm going to do another one tomorrow. So yeah, that's what you got to be doing. Get out there, make it happen. I don't know how CNN is always late to the party, but they are.
All right, what y'all think? Buyer's market or no?
I think we're going.
I
into the
definitely
buyer's
think it's.
market. I don't think we're here now.
I think we're in the buyer's market. And I think, you know what I'm saying, the biggest indication of what kind of market we're in, to me, is gauged by, you know what I'm saying, what kind of incentives the builders are offering. Right now, the builders are offering the kitchen sink. And then, you know what I'm saying, during COVID, they were actually taking agents, you know what I'm saying, we know this, they were taking agents' commissions away. They was paying 1% and 2%. No BTSA, no BTSA, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Now they're offering 4%. They're offering 10,000, 15,000 BTSA just to be able to get rid of some of these houses. And they're becoming lenient on some of the negotiation prices, to which during COVID, you know what I'm saying, we know they wasn't bending. They was going up 10% every week, and they wasn't bending on them prices. So to me, you know what I'm saying, if I had to gauge it just by, you know what I'm saying, the market, the inventory, and then actually what builders are doing, I would say we're in a buyer's market now.
Right.
Yeah, on his thing, he was saying it was showing that it's more sellers than buyers now.
Right. I would say
it's more buyers than sellers right now.
Right. I would say so because of what the part that he said, that more people are holding on at that 2, 3, 4% interest rate. Why would they sell it? If you can't afford, you locked in, you already got this equity in there. You've been in there 5 years now, 4 years now. Why would you switch houses on a whim where you get less of a house now because the rates are higher?
Yeah, the rates are higher, and yeah.
So they got less people that's just at that 5-year itch, that 7-year itch, they stand put, because they refinance that thing at 2021 and they stand put, so that's what's happening right now. So, and that's what's going to happen until, like I said, it gets further away from that 2-3% that they had.
Yeah.
We got fat, but you better hold on to that, because that meal needs to last a long time, because it's gonna be that correction process is gonna be about damn near a decade, So it is what it is. But you still can eat. You gotta get creative with it. But that first time home buyer feast is gone.
Aaron Darman here, Century 21. I just want to get a little bit deeper into what's going on with these landlords and why they're getting so heavily fucked. So what's going on is, I just did a listing, and what is absolutely fucking mind-blowing is, I've had probably 12 applications on this listing for lease, and one application came in that was identical to another application, meaning the person's picture was the exact same. The only difference is his name was different on both applications. So what's happening right now is you have these professional scam artists that are coming in, and they're going on LinkedIn especially, and they're finding an established individual. So for example, Stan Smith, who works at 123 Poly Inc., who's been the financial officer for 14 years. They're going to go now and create an actual profile with all this guy's information that they've taken off of LinkedIn to make it look good. They'll go to the extent where they'll download Photoshop, they'll make and create pay stubs and job letters and so forth. And now what ends up happening is when you pick up the phone and do a reference check and you ask, hey, how is this person? Does this person work here? Of course they work there. So what it is these tenants are actually imitating to be somebody, and these people have no idea that they're getting duped online and their name and information is being used. So now what ends up happening is everything checks out because they're pretending to be somebody that's real, and now they get possession to a unit. Now from there, you don't even have their real name. You don't have fucking anything. Okay, they can do what they want with the unit. You can't even get them out, even though you have an illegal lease signed. There's still a huge process to get these guys out. Now, once this happens, is who knows if they sublet it out? Who knows if they bring in other people? We don't fucking know. All I know is this is a very common thing where people are pretending to be other people to get possessions of units, and then they take over possession, and nobody knows who they are. They become ghosts, and it's a fucking impossible task. And I'm telling you, I see this over and over and over again with, a free app on Photoshop. You can make a pay stub, you can make a job letter and all that stuff. So the lease I just did with all these applications, I told the landlord, I'm like, I didn't even call anybody at this point. Once I saw this, I just went off of gut feeling. These are the 3 people that I like. I'm going to meet them in person. Whichever my gut specifically tells me that I think these people are going to be good people, then I'm going to go with. But we don't have fucking crystal balls. We don't know what their intent is. We don't know what if the tenant's going to be genuine or not. And overall, it's a huge fucking risk. Guys, if you want to be a landlord, most landlords are homeowners that have an additional property. It's cool. There's a big reward at the end of the day, but please make sure that you have a good financial backing in case shit hits the fan. Aaron's our man here.
He must be in California.
I don't know. You sound like you're up north somewhere.
Huh? Yeah.
I sound up north somewhere.
I don't know what you sound like. But you know what I'm saying? I can tell you this. Fraud, when it comes to renting a property, has been around for years. All kinds of creative shit comes up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the problem is that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of these people are just plain not smart. So a lot of the fraud stuff that they do, they're in the situation that they're in because they're lazy and not smart at all. So sometimes you can catch it, sometimes you can't. But that is a actual, you know what I'm saying, creative way. I've never actually heard of that. That's brand spanking new to me. But here's the thing, is that if you have to run their credit, you need a social security number. You need a social security card. So even if they do go to LinkedIn and get somebody's resume or profile or whatever the case may be, if you're running their information and you're actually doing the background and the reports that you need to do as a landlord to do background check, then nothing will pop up. How do you know somebody's social security number? It's not on LinkedIn. How do you know their address? It's not on LinkedIn. So there's checks and balances to it, you know what I'm saying? But I just think if you do your proper due diligence, you can cut down, not to completely eliminate, but you can cut down on a lot of that riffraff.
Agreed. That's what I was thinking.
Now, what happens is people, realtors are lazy. And if you say, well, my client already got his credit report ran, he don't want to pay all his fees, he got it in hand. And a lot of people say, all right, well, send it to me. Email it to me.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Like you say, they lazy.
If the desperation is there, a lot of people, because I've had this before with a client, like, all right, he already got his credit report. Can I send it to you?
Nope.
Yeah. It does, and I say because it does happen. It does happen like that. Plenty of times. Like that. But if you're dealing with a seasoned agent, which is the different, if you're dealing with a seasoned agent, your agent already understands what you can and can't do, and that's one of the things that you cannot do. And it's not that, you know what I'm saying, it's a frustrating thing for an actual person that actually paid for it, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to save money. I have all these application fees and stuff trying to apply for these houses that I like. I don't want to keep spending money on these application fees. But from a landlord standpoint, like, I got to protect myself. Because, you know what I'm saying, if I skip out on this $60 or $50 or whatever I'm charging for application fee, then it's going to cost me thousands later to get your ass out.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't even worth it.
You trying to apply for another house ain't got nothing to do with me.
It got nothing to do with me, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, this is the only house that I care about. This is the only house I'm trying to protect. And this is the other thing too, is that, you know what I'm saying, we talked about from a tenant standpoint on the other side, but it's great to show this video where you can see it on the other side as well too. So understand, you know what I'm saying, when landlords ask for all these different things, they're going through this fraud stuff. So in order to protect myself, I need to ask stuff just like you're trying to get a mortgage to make sure I'm not putting somebody in my house that I have to get out a month or two from now and spend thousands of dollars trying to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I
I haven't seen like tenants try to do it, but I have seen people try to scam as an agent. You know, I've had friends ask me about a certain place, and you know, when I look it up, the person they say they've been talking to ain't nowhere on the MLS, ain't nowhere. I'm like, oh no, this
They ain't even on the Trek website. It's like,
they
well,
ain't
I
they
don't
ain't
know
on
who
Trek
you Trek.
website. They ain't even if you go to HCAD, it's like no, don't even leave them alone because something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me run these last two because I'm about to. It's 12, so I got to pop up for 7.
It's 12.
Yeah,
See, I got me past my bedtime, man.
I gotta run it too. So I'm
not a real estate crash. It's the collective crying of real estate agents. Americans are obsessed with this idea of a upcoming real estate crash. Yeah, okay, whatever. Quote, Redfin reports U.S. home sellers are sitting on $700 billion worth of listings at all-time high. Yeah, so what? Prices aren't falling. Quote, realtors panic as buyers pull out of deals at near record levels. Quote, market is crashing before our eyes. I don't know why these articles draw a lot of views, but I don't even know what they're talking about. What kind of crash are we talking about? When we go to the near bottom of all these articles, you know what it says? Quote, over the next year, home prices will drop by 1%, marking the end of more than a decade of almost uninterrupted price hikes. That comment was also from Redfin. Americans, with all due respect, your real estate market's not crashing. It's just not. 1% decline after over a decade of increasing prices is not a crash. U.S. real estate is not expensive. Home price changes since 2000. Australia, almost 400%. Canada, clearly over 300%. UK, 252%. Where's America? It's like in the middle of this graph right here. That is not expensive. See this graph? These are prices for single-family homes, top line, and condominiums, bottom line, in Toronto. 20% down from peak. The reason realtors are panicking is because they're not making any money. Sellers don't need to sell, that's why they're not dropping the price. And buyers are not interested in buying, that's why they're not bidding. So who's doing all of the crying? Real estate agents. Because real estate agents are paid on transactions. When no one buys and no one sells, no transactions, no income. It's not a real estate crash. It's the collective crying of real estate agents. Learn the lessons about money that a real estate agent won't be able to teach you. Download my free newsletter link off the bio.
Always a plug.
I agree with that. I've seen so many articles, not articles, but postings and stuff where agents are crying about stuff. You crying, like he said, because nobody's buying, nobody is selling. It ain't crashing.
Right. And like you said, somebody said this last week. The guy with a white beard and said this last week, and they said, Redfin, the guy that said Redfin, the prices are going to decrease a whopping 1%. So how long are we going to wait for these prices to drop? And the prices are dropping record 1%.
But it's a crash. It's been crashing since 2020. It's supposed to be crashing since 2020.
My man Corey said we're going to wait till prices drop till they become affordable again. When is going to happen? Ever.
Never.
Yeah, that's what I was saying last week.
I don't know necessarily that's what I said. You know what I'm saying? I think that was a great spin on words as the infamous B Dicks do. You know what I'm saying?
This guy said last week that he's waiting till prices become affordable. How long do we need to wait? You said till prices become affordable again.
But we did agree upon, you know what I'm saying, prices would never become affordable. Just the same way you can't walk into a grocery store and come out with a $20 because you bought a few things. You know what I'm saying? Like the inflation, you know what I'm saying, it's never going to be the same. But all I'm saying is that there needed to be more of a correction, not just drop prices where, you know what I'm saying, everything kind of shoots back up again. Because that's what everybody is waiting on. Truth be told, everybody's waiting on the feds to announce that they dropped the rates, you know what I'm saying, and then the market's going to start to go back crazy again. That's it. All I said was the feds are right to be cautious about dropping rates so fast. That's all I said. But then B Dixon turned this thing into a whole snowball, you know what I'm saying, and say that I'm waiting on prices to become back affordable. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I said.
Okay. We're gonna leave it like that. We're gonna let I want to end this on y'all fathers, man. Like I said, on a good Father's Day clip, man. This is an ode to the fathers right here. So happy Father's Day to all of the real dads out there, the real fathers. So we're gonna end this on this one, man. We got one more, and then let's roll out. Cause I'm
Want to know what all these legends have in common? Apparently, their fathers ruined their childhoods. They said Venus and Serena's father was way too hard on them. He was way too strict. He made them work too much. When they were kids, they probably would have agreed with that. However, I have a sneaking suspicion that as adults and some of the greatest tennis players in history, I don't think they mind that discipline that their father gave them. Floyd Mayweather's dad started teaching him how to punch before he could even walk. Even at a young age, he understood that the discipline his father gave him was instrumental to his success.
First, I want to thank the good man upstairs for giving me this opportunity to win the national championship. And second of all, I want to thank my father.
The same could be said about Tiger Woods' father.
But he'd never push me over the edge. He would take me right up to the breaking point and he'd back off. Eventually it would take more, and then more, and then more, and then more, finally to the point where it didn't bother me anymore.
And the harsh reality is, there would be no Michael Jackson without Joe Jackson.
By me, being strict with him a little bit, and it made him a superstar, because look, it just didn't happen on his own.
Sometimes the greatest gift that a father could give to his children is discipline. A good father doesn't always give you freedom, but he'll teach you how to earn it. You want to know what all these legends have in common?
I like that. That's good.
Right.
Boom, mic drop.
Right.
Mic drop on that one.
All right. So we get the bad rap, man, but the bad rap is necessary, man. Try to, especially with this new culture nowadays and everything is toxic and toxic masculinity, but it's necessary. This masculinity built nations. This builds character. This builds strong individuals, adults ready for the world. So sorry if y'all don't like it, but it's necessary.
It's to piggyback on that, you know what I'm saying, the biggest thing I gotta say is sometimes it takes a little bit of adversity to build mental toughness, to be prepared for what the world has for you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of time mom's natural nature is to nurture.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? It's not a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? It's just what moms do, you know what I'm saying? It's not a knock, you know what I'm saying? It's just what they do, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has their role to play when it comes to trying to raise somebody successful and raise these kids. But I think a father's job is, you know what I'm saying, to kind of mentally prepare, you know what I'm saying, and be hard on you just enough so that, you know what I'm saying, you're mentally prepared for the world.
Yep. Barry, anything you want to add to that?
No, that's good. Yeah, we need fathers. That's one of the declines of our culture, our society. We gotta have fathers in there.
Right. With that being said, man, we're gonna see y'all next week, man. You know what I'm saying? Peace. I'm falling asleep right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Gotta pop up in the morning, man. But we're gonna see y'all next week, man. I appreciate y'all.
All right.
Later.